Since the 1990s, skin cancer cases in that particular age group have actually risen by 195%. That's almost triple.
Wow. Well, in fact, across all age groups, there are now more than 17,000 cases a year in the UK, the highest since records began.
Well, worrying more still, it's predicted cases will increase even more by 50% over the next 20 years. Well, to talk more about this in detail, we're joined by Justine Shields, who was diagnosed with melanoma back in 2006, and Nasser Tarabi from Cancer Research UK. Good evening to both of you. Justine, I wonder if I could just start with you. Just talk to us what happened to you. What happened?
I just spotted a mark on my chest when I was, I've been on holiday for a considerable period of time, and it had gone, and then it came back a little bit worse. So I just went to the GP and noticed just a small, at the time, A4 piece of paper showing skin cancer. And that I didn't really know anything about skin cancer, and I thought, that looks exactly like what's on my chest. So thankfully, I got an appointment and saw my GP within 24 hours, and then within about 72 hours was in to see a consultant who told me then that I had skin cancer. And the more horrifying for me was the fact that I was in my early 30s, and he told me that I had the skin of a woman in her 80s. Oh. So I was, as you can imagine, a little bit shocked and a little bit taken aback by it all.
Oh, absolutely. And Justine, this happened, you think the doctors think because of going on holidays and also actually using those tanning machines, is that right?
Absolutely. And I think as well, I didn't, I'd just been told actually on that photo that I had cancer. So that one was a lot younger, when I, obviously you can see that I didn't really use the correct sun protection then. But I think it's also that, you know, I went on holiday with mum and dad from a young girl, and then you get to your late teens and go on holiday with the girls. They all have gorgeous dark skin. So I wanted to be nice and tanned like them. And in the 90s, it was super fashionable to be, as I can say now, orange.
Nasser, well, let's bring you in. We heard what happened to Justine there, but sadly she's not alone. And you know, now she was ill from what she did previously when she was in her 30s and younger. Is that the problem, that it's what you do when you're young, and if you are exposed to sun, you risk the run of getting skin cancer later on in life?
Yes, skin cancer takes a long time to develop. So the skin cancers that we're seeing today relate to, about 9 in 10 of them relate to UV exposure from potentially decades ago. So the rise that we're seeing, the 17,000 that we see now and about 26,000 that we're going to see in 2040, relate to, as you said, back potentially 60s, 70s, 80s, when sun awareness, UV awareness was much lower. So hopefully that has changed, and awareness is raised, and people are much more conscientious about sunscreen and making sure they're taking all the right precautions, whether it's covering up or using sunscreen.
So what are the signs as well? If there's, we saw a few pictures there, but what else can people look out for, and actually maybe describe some of the pictures in terms of what they look like?
I'd encourage people to go to the NHS or the Cancer Research UK websites for a start, because actually there's quite a few different signs, and not just of this kind of cancer, but all kinds of cancers that you should be watching out for. But I think it's really important to know your own skin, because you're really looking for changes. So things that, changes in your skin that perhaps don't heal after about 4 weeks, new ulcers, freckles, moles that are changing. Those are all things that are really important to look out for. And you can actually take pictures of them. And nowadays you can often send those pictures to the GP, so you don't even necessarily need to go into the GP unless they request.
And AI is also taking over, and it's able to sort of accurately pinpoint exactly what's going on people's skin, isn't it? Justine, can I just ask you, how are you now about the sun and exposing yourself? Are you a bit more careful, or have things changed for you?
Yeah, absolutely. I still enjoy the good weather, and I still enjoy going away. But I do things absolutely correctly now, which is high SPF. I always wear a hat because my second tumour was in my head. And I look for the shade, and I spend plenty of time in the shade, but I also do enjoy the good weather. And it's just really important to be sensible